One day, a young man named Ethan lived in a quiet town. Ethan was a simple and hardworking person. However, he had a big dream in his heart. He wanted to build a successful life in a big city. Every evening, Ethan sat near a small park and thought about his future. Sometimes he felt excited. Sometimes he felt nervous. One day, he said to himself, "I must try. If I never try, I will never succeed." The next morning, Ethan packed a small bag. He said goodbye to his family and started his journey. After a long trip, Ethan finally reached the city. The city was huge. There were tall buildings everywhere. Cars moved quickly on the busy roads. People walked fast and looked very busy. At first, Ethan felt confused and a little scared. Everything was new for him. He started searching for a job. He visited many offices and shops. But many people refused him. One manager said, "Sorry, we need someone with experience." Another person said, "We will call you later." Days passed, but Ethan still had no job. One evening, Ethan felt very tired. He sat on a bench and looked at the sky. He whispered quietly, "Maybe success needs patience." The next morning, Ethan saw a small coffee shop on a corner street. The shop looked simple, but warm and friendly. Ethan walked inside and spoke politely. "Hello, sir. I am looking for a job. I am ready to work hard." The shop owner looked at Ethan carefully. After a few seconds, he smiled and said, "All right, I will give you a chance." Ethan felt very happy. From that day, he started working in the coffee shop. Every day he served customers. He cleaned the tables. He learned how to prepare coffee slowly. Ethan became more confident. Customers liked his polite behavior. They often said, "You are very kind and hardworking." Months passed. Ethan learned many new skills. One day, the owner said something surprising. "Ethan, you have done an excellent job. I want you to become the manager of this shop." Ethan could not believe his ears. He smiled and said, "Thank you for trusting me." That night, Ethan looked at the city lights and remembered his difficult days. He understood one important lesson. Hard work, patience, and courage can change a person's life. And from that day, Ethan's journey of success truly began. Ethan worked very hard in the coffee shop. Every morning, he arrived early. He cleaned the tables and prepared fresh coffee for the customers. The customers liked Ethan very much. They always saw a smile on his face. One day, a businessman visited the coffee shop. His name was Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson noticed Ethan's dedication. He watched Ethan carefully for a few minutes. Then he asked, "Young man, why do you work so hard?" Ethan replied politely, "Sir, I want to build a better future. I believe hard work will help me succeed." Mr. Anderson smiled. He respected Ethan's attitude. Before leaving, he gave Ethan his business card. He said, "If you ever want a better opportunity, come to my office." Ethan looked at the card with surprise. That night, he thought about the opportunity again and again. The next morning, Ethan decided to visit Mr. Anderson's office. The office building was very tall and modern. Ethan felt a little nervous, but he walked inside bravely. Mr. Anderson welcomed him warmly. He said, "I saw something special in you. I want to offer you a job in my company." Ethan was shocked. He never expected such an opportunity. He asked carefully, "Sir, are you sure I can do this job?" Mr. Anderson replied confidently, "Yes, skills can be learned, but honesty and dedication are rare." Ethan accepted the job with gratitude. From that day, a new chapter of his life began. He started learning business skills. He worked day and night to improve himself. Months later, Ethan became one of the most trusted employees in the company. One evening, he stood near the office window and looked at the city lights. He remembered his first day in the city. He remembered the struggles, the rejection, and the small coffee shop. Ethan smiled quietly. He understood a powerful truth. Every big success begins with a small opportunity. And Ethan knew that his journey had only just begun. Ethan started his new job with great excitement. Every day, he learned something new about business and communication. At first, the work was difficult. Many tasks were complicated. Sometimes Ethan made small mistakes, but he never stopped trying. Mr. Anderson often watched Ethan carefully. One day, he called Ethan into his office. He said calmly, "Ethan, success does not come easily. But I can see your determination." Ethan nodded respectfully. He replied, "Sir, I am ready to learn. I will work harder every day." Weeks passed, and Ethan improved quickly. He learned how to talk to clients. He learned how to solve problems. One afternoon, a serious problem happened in the company. An important client was very unhappy. The client said angrily, "If this problem is not solved today, we will cancel our contract." The employees felt worried and confused. Mr. Anderson looked at Ethan and said, "This is your chance. Try to solve the problem." Ethan felt nervous, but he stayed calm. He listened carefully to the client's problem. Then he explained the situation politely and offered a solution. After a few minutes of discussion, the client finally smiled. He said, "Thank you. You handled this situation very professionally." Everyone in the office felt relieved. Mr. Anderson was very proud of Ethan. Later that evening, he said, "Ethan, today you proved something important. Confidence and patience can solve many problems." Ethan felt grateful for the opportunity. When he went home that night, he looked at the bright city lights again. He remembered the day he arrived in the city with only a small bag and a big dream. Now, his life was slowly changing. Ethan smiled and said quietly, "This is only the beginning of my success story." And deep in his heart, he knew that many more adventures were waiting for him. Ethan continued working hard in the company. Every day, he arrived early and left late. He wanted to learn everything about the business. Mr. Anderson trusted Ethan more and more. One morning, something unexpected happened. Mr. Anderson called Ethan into his office. His face looked serious. He said slowly, "Ethan, our company is facing a big problem." Ethan felt worried. He asked carefully, "Sir, what happened?" Mr. Anderson replied, "One of our biggest projects has failed. If we do not fix this problem quickly, the company could lose a lot of money." The situation was very stressful. Many employees felt nervous and confused. Ethan took a deep breath and said, "Sir, maybe we can find a new solution." Mr. Anderson looked at him with curiosity. He said, "All right, Ethan, tell me your idea." Ethan explained his plan step by step. He suggested improving the service and contacting the clients personally. He also suggested offering a better deal to rebuild trust. Mr. Anderson listened carefully. After a moment of silence, he smiled. "That is a very smart idea," he said. The team immediately started working on Ethan's plan for several days. Everyone worked day and night. Finally, the company solved the problem. The clients were satisfied again. The company was saved. Everyone in the office felt proud and relieved. Later, Mr. Anderson called Ethan again. He said proudly, "Ethan, today you saved this company." Ethan felt surprised and grateful. Mr. Anderson continued, "From today, you are not just an employee. You are my business partner." Ethan could hardly believe it. His journey from a small-town dreamer to a successful businessman had come true. That night, Ethan stood on the rooftop and looked at the shining city lights. He remembered every struggle, every rejection, and every lesson. Then he smiled and said quietly, "Dream big, work hard, never give up." And that simple belief changed his life forever.